It's game week, folks. Week 1 is upon us. Lions, Eagles. Let's start the week right with another edition of Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Labor Day to you on a Monday, September 5th and a Tuesday, September 6th. Matt Dery with you. It's Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We got football to discuss. We got actual games. Lions, Eagles this week. The opener Sunday at Ford Field. We'll get into it right here on the program today, Monday edition. Thanks for joining us, making us your first listen each and every day. And we are brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Pick 2 to 5 players. If they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, the numbers are skyrocketing. We appreciate you guys watching, viewing, commenting. If you haven't subscribed yet to the podcast, please do that on YouTube. Of course, if you're listening, you can get the podcast on all platforms and follow us on Twitter as well, at Dery Speaks, Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, and the Matt Dery Facebook fan page. Coming up, Dan Campbell speaks. Who's going to call the plays? Who's going to call the play Sunday against the Eagles? He still won't give you an answer. We'll explain coming up. Also, the very weird and strange backup quarterback situation got even more strange today, this morning, with the reports that the Lions are bringing Tim Boyle back. I will explain that momentarily as well. But I want to start today with predictions. I'm not going to sit here and go game by game. I don't want to sit here and play the prediction game all show and talk about this and talk about that. But it is time. It's game week, and it's time to kind of give you a perspective, at least my perspective, on where I think this thing is heading. As far as the season goes, people ask all the time, what do you think? 8 wins, 9 wins, 4 wins? What do I honestly think? I looked at the 53-man roster. I've looked at the schedule. I've looked at the division. And I honestly think right here, right now, on Monday, the week of game 1, if Jared Goff stays healthy, if they continue to build this thing properly, if some of these injured players like Romeo Okwara, Jamison Williams, Josh Paschal come back, I look at this football team as a 7-win team. I think the Detroit Lions have a chance with this schedule, with this division, with question marks. I mean, Green Bay's going to win this division. All right. Minnesota has a chance to be really good. And picking up Zadarius Smith and still having Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins getting kind of a new lease on life with Kevin O'Connell as his new head coach and Mike Zimmer no longer there. I truly believe that the Vikings are going to be okay. But I think the Lions are going to win 6, 7 games. And I'll put it at 7 based on the schedule. Last year, they got a lot of bad breaks. They had a bad team. They had a really brutal schedule, very difficult. And this year, it lets up a bit. Not having to face the AFC North. I mean, last year they had to play Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. This year, AFC East, they should beat the Jets. They have a chance against Miami. They're not going to beat the Bills. And they'll have a shot in New England. I don't think the Patriots are any great shakes. Heck, the guy calling the plays up there is Matt Patricia. They're not calling him the offensive coordinator because they want him to collect his money from the Lions still. NFC West last year, this team had to play the Rams, the Seahawks on the road. Arizona was certainly a great game for the Lions and a victory. And San Francisco, which was brutal in week 1. Yet the Lions fought back and made it a game. This year, NFC East, Washington, the Giants, those could be 2 wins. Philly's going to be very difficult this week. and Dallas as well on the road. But the Lions will have 2 weeks to prepare for that game. Sprinkle in a Jacksonville, a Carolina. Um, you know, the schedule is softer. So I see a 7-win team. I see a 7-10 football team here in 2022 for the Lions. Doubling your win total and adding another win, I think, would be the next step. Now, again, that could all change. If Jared Goff gets hurt and we're stuck watching Nate Sudfeld or Tim Boyle or something, yeah, it's going to be a long year. All right? It'd be the same thing if Jordan Love was playing in Green Bay or Andy Dalton in Chicago, whatever it is. But I see a 7-win team. I think the over-under in Vegas from our friends at Bet Online sitting at 6.5 is right there. I think it's the right number. And I think the Lions will go over it. I think 7 wins looks about right in my estimation, in my eyes, with some of the teams that they're playing. And getting that last place schedule and getting to play a Seattle team that's rebuilding, like I said, Jacksonville and others, I see some wins here. I see this team finishing some games that last year they couldn't finish because they weren't good enough, but they were in a lot of those games. They could have finished the Minnesota game in Minnesota. They could have finished the Baltimore game. And the Ravens should have wiped the floor with the Lions team. They play really hard. They love this coach and this staff. And I think some of those games from a year ago will turn to wins this year based on better talent. But they're not a playoff team yet, folks. I don't see it. This defense still has a ways to go. I have my concerns about the secondary, about the linebackers, about the interior of that defensive line. And I see a 7-10 season for Detroit. Now, I'm not the only person that predicts that. If you look at SI.com, Sports Illustrated, Jarrett Bailey, one of their NFL writers, he predicted the NFC North to be Green Bay 11-6, Minnesota 11-6, Lions 7-10, and Bears 3-14. Now, this guy also has Washington winning the division at 10-7 and Philly being 8-9, which I think is ridiculous. But there's a prediction of 7-10. How about Peter King? ProFootballTalk.com, NBC Sports, did his Football Morning in America prediction column today. And his NFC seeds, he's got New Orleans at number 1 at 12-5. That's a surprise. Green Bay at number 2 at 12-5. Philadelphia at number 3 at 11-6. Rams 4th, 10-7. His wild cards, Minnesota winning 11 games. Again, that's in our division. Tampa Bay at 10-7 and San Francisco 10-7, tying with Dallas. All right. No mention of the Lions yet being in the postseason, but that's 2 teams in the division. Green Bay, a 12-win team, according to Peter King, and Minnesota, an 11-win team. Agree? Disagree? Would love your feedback on YouTube in the comment section, on Twitter at Dery Speaks, or at Locked On Lions on Twitter, and the Matt Dery Facebook fan page as well. This is what I see for this team. I really like the offensive line. If healthy, they're good, and there's some depth there with Evan Brown and Tommy Kramer. There's some guys that have come in and played pretty well. I think the receiver room is so much better, so improved. I'm excited to see what DJ Chark is going to do. All right, because he didn't play a ton of the preseason, but he had a really good training camp, and I think he could be explosive. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, TJ Hawkinson in there. The receiver room is improved. The running backs are deep. All right, when Craig Reynolds is your third guy, I think that's a guy that can get some yards. And everybody's talking about DeAndre Swift. Could he be an 1,000-yard back and an 800-yard receiving back? Why not? Sky's the limit as long as he's healthy. He's coached up well by Deuce Staley. So the offense looks pretty good. Jared Goff, we've talked about it time and time again. He feels comfortable in this system. And now that Anthony Lynn is gone, it's almost like this piano is off his back. Let's see what he can do. But defense, other than the edge rushers, I'm concerned. I think the corners are pretty good. I'm excited to see how Jeff Okudah does in week 1 against the likes of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But he's ready. Safeties, who knows? Linebackers, man, Rodrigo's been great and a lot of fun. But I just don't know if a 6th-round linebacker that's undersized is going to be able to cover tight ends. And that concerns me. And again, the interior of the defensive line, we're going to find out in week 1. All right. Philadelphia comes in here with Miles Sanders and Boston Scott and the number 1 rush offense in the league last year. Hurts running RPOs. And Dan Campbell said it today. We got embarrassed last year by Philly. And they're going to come in here after beating us 44-6 last year and try to do the exact same thing. Do I think it's going to be 44-6 this week? No. But I'm going to have a hard time picking the Lions this week because I think Philly is loaded. And they keep adding. I mean, Bradbury on one side, Slay on the other. That offensive line with Kelsey and Lane Johnson. Jalen Hurts feeling good. A lot of people picking Philadelphia to win that division. They should win it. They're good. And A.J. Brown now added to go along with Goddard and Smith. That's a good football team coming in here this week. And they're well coached. Well coached. All right, coming up next, speaking of coaching, who's going to call the plays for this football team on offense? We got to get into that. But first, our friends at PrizePicks. You want to talk about daily fantasy that is so easy and so much fun. Here's a great example. You can go on this Sunday at prizepicks.com or get the app, and you can take Patrick Mahomes to throw more than 320 passing yards, Derrick Henry to rush for less than 85 yards, Cooper Kupp to score more than a half a touchdown, Tyreek Hill to catch less than 3.5 passes in his Miami debut. You can do all of that in such an easy format at prizepicks.com or at the PrizePicks app. It's awesome. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they will score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections. It's a lot of fun. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch, too. That includes NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college hoops, women's college hoops. All of it's right there for you. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It is that easy. I've been on the site. It's phenomenal. It's clean and it's simple. All right. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, you're going to get $100 back. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign-up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Monday edition, Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen today, each and every single day, right here on the show. All right. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I'm going to bring it up. There are some people that think that Dan Campbell is going to hand the reins over to play calling duties to Ben Johnson. Johnson's the new offensive coordinator. He's a buddy of Campbell's. Was a tight ends coach last year. He's moved up the ranks. They love him. And he called the plays during the preseason. Today, Dan Campbell was asked, what's the story? He said he wouldn't know until week 1. Well, week 1 is here. And Campbell said today he has an eagerness to call the plays himself, and he still doesn't know. Some that cover the team believe this is a smokescreen. Campbell's going to hand the reins over to, I got to put the PrizePicks. Gosh, I keep forgetting to do the overlay. I'm going to put the overlay up for a minute. Our friends at PrizePicks, I got to give them some love. Those of you watching on YouTube. There are some that believe that Campbell is going to hand the reins over to Ben Johnson. This is a smokescreen. There's no way he's going to call the plays. I'm the opposite. Dan Campbell called the plays at the end of last year. Jared Goff got better. Dan Campbell is the head coach. You're going to tell the head coach, or the head coach is going to relent and not call plays? I could be 100% off base. But I truly believe Dan Campbell is going to call plays again in 2022. It's his team. It's his house. He can put whatever furniture he wants in his house. And I believe, and I think he's going to call the plays. He was very coy today. He was having fun with the media about it. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I have an eagerness to call it myself. And I think he's going to. Because he's the boss. And he did it last year. The offense got better after he kind of took the reins away from Anthony Lynn. I know the preseason was the Ben Johnson show, but I just have a feeling that it's going to be Dan Campbell. My question is this some sort of competitive advantage, or is they don't want to tell anybody, or he already knows, or he's just messing with the media? Who knows? But I think in the end, he's going to end up doing it. And I don't think it's a knock on Ben Johnson or anything. I just think Dan Campbell's the boss. It's his team. I could be off base. Maybe he has full trust in Johnson and he's going to do this. He's going to hand it to him anyway. But Dan Campbell wants to call the plays. And he's waited, years to finally get that opportunity. I think he's going to do it. My thing is, it's whatever should make Jared Goff the most comfortable. Because Jared Goff has to have ownership and a say in where this offense is going this year. He has to. It's too important. And he's made good strides. He had a really good training camp in preseason. Everybody says Jared Goff is ready, primed and ready for a breakout year. There are no excuses. He's got Pro Bowlers on his offensive line in Ragnow and Jackson. He's got weapons to play with. Good receiving core that's only going to get better once Jamison Williams gets there. And the running back room is deep. He's got the power back in Williams. He's got the everything back in Swift, Reynolds, the whole shebang here. But I think it's still going to end up being Dan Campbell calling the plays. We'll have to wait and see. Coming up next, a bizarre twist to the third string quarterback job. Dan Campbell said today, what I'm most excited about this team is the team and how together we are. Sounds like there's one guy that wanted to get the heck out of here. And we're going to probably find out tomorrow night on Hard Knocks why. We'll talk about that coming up next. All right, so the Lions today, according to Tom Pelissero from the NFL Network, have brought back Tim Boyle to be on the practice squad. Mr. August, formerly known as, was absolutely horrible this preseason. Tim Boyle lost the competition with David Blough for the backup job for one day, basically, was let go and released before David Blough was, and pretty much showed in the 3 preseason games that he wasn't good enough to be on this team. And so the Lions last week on cutdown day got rid of Tim Boyle. They kept David Blough originally. And then the next day, and again, this is all going to come out on Hard Knocks. The next day, they let go and cut Blough and signed Nate Sudfeld from San Francisco. Dave Burkett from the Free Press reporting, give Berkey credit, that David Blough was offered a spot to stay with the Lions and be on their practice squad. And he turned it down. He rebuffed in order to sign with the Vikings on their practice squad. He's not even the backup in Minnesota. David Blough is on the practice squad, but on a different team. And if you've been paying attention to Hard Knocks and you've been covering the Lions for the last couple of years, the reporters will tell you Blough is the nicest guy. The story about his wife running track and field at the Olympics. His teammates loved him. And this is very minor because it's third string quarterback. But why didn't David Blough just stay here? What happened? Did he get ticked off that they told him he was making the team and then they cut him the next day? That's a business. You can do that. But it's kind of poor optics on the Lions front that they're bringing Boyle back to the practice squad when he got beat out by Blough. And then Blough jumped ship and you're bringing Boyle back? It just looks bad. Like, it makes the Lions and Brad Holmes look disheveled on this quarterback situation. And there are other quarterbacks out there. I'm not going to list them off that you can sign to the practice squad. But Boyle lost to Blough. He was bad. Now he's back. And Blough's in Minnesota at an equal position. It's not like he went and got an upgraded job opportunity here. You know, he went to Minnesota for the same gig. Don't know if the money was any different. I have no idea. Why did he rebuff the Lions? This is so bizarre. The Lions really have no controversy. They've been squeaky clean. The players all get along. They love the coaches. But this David Blough, Tim Boyle circus is a circus. Yeah. He rebuffed the Lions, according to Burkett, and didn't accept their offer to stay, but went to Minnesota for the same job. I just hope nothing happens to Jared Goff, because what is behind him now does nothing for me. Nate Sudfeld, and if they had to, Tim Boyle. I can't believe Boyle's back. Boyle and Jared Davis being in the practice squad just makes me laugh. Again, I spent probably way too much time on this, but I had to bring it up. It's newsworthy, and it's a Monday edition, a Labor Day edition of Locked On Lions. We're going to do the crossover on Thursday. We got so much this week to get to you, and we will do that all this week right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're back again tomorrow.